It's EL and Obrafo, titled Kwame Nkrumah. So doing a mix-up of the rendition of the old Obrafo song and trying to intersperse that with his own lyrics, and that's EL for you. EL baby.
Brafo baby.
Yeah.
All right, we've got just about
Manifest.
3 newspapers. Manifest baby. That's what you want me to say. We've got just about 3 hardcore newspapers, but we'll spend a bit of time online. And the U.S. President, Donald Trump, has had a few words to say to African leaders. We're going to listen to him. And Ebola, did it get to Namibia? Apparently so. Ketsi, the U.S. President, will play you back what he's been saying as well. But let's do the Daily Graphic newspaper. And if you've got text messages, which we encourage you to send, by the way, send us your text messages. Let's know how today is treating you. There's work tomorrow, by the way. Today is not Friday, it's a Thursday. So let's know what you're up to via regular text, and we will share it. In the Daily Graphic newspaper, well, on the front page of the paper, President addresses United Nations today, this day, I think it's 2 p.m. or so. It will be streamed online and in other places. Ghana marks Nkrumah Memorial Day. COP or COP interdicted for allegedly dealing in arms. Cocoa Board borrows $1.3 billion to buy cocoa in 2017-2018 season. So let's start with this Cocoa Board and this huge amount that Cocoa Board has borrowed. The Ghana Cocoa Board has secured $1.3 billion from a consortium of 25 banks to finance cocoa production and purchases in the 2017-2018 cocoa season. An agreement to give meaning to the transaction was signed at a ceremony chaired by Ghana's ambassador to France, Ms. Anna Bosman, in Paris yesterday. And the chief executive officer of the Cocoa Board, Mr. Joseph Boahin Edu, signed on behalf of the Cocoa Board. And details of this and what it would mean all in the Daily Graphic newspaper. Let's get to page 13 because we know that, or let me save that. Maybe after Donald Trump, just a bit of that for you. Ghanaians will focus attention on President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo today when he delivers his maiden address to the United Nations General Assembly at its headquarters in New York, USA. President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo is among new African presidents making their first appearance at the UN General Assembly. There's a theme, the experience, all being shared in the Daily Graphic newspaper. We will wait to listen to our president. The police administration has interdicted Detective Corporal Ifachure Williams on suspicion of selling and transferring arms to individuals without authority. His interdiction follows his arrests along with 4 other persons on charges of suspected robbery and possession of firearms by the Upper East Regional Police Command. Details of that story also in the Daily Graphic newspaper. A story that has generated lots of conversations, but even today, because of the day today, it will make huge conversations as well. We'll have our own bites on this when Chief Moment and Ibrahim Ajay joins us from 7 a.m. this morning. Today is Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Day, a day set aside to remember and honor Ghana's first president. In the past, the celebration of the day had been marked with some controversy and today's celebration is no different. While many are of the view that Dr. Nkrumah is the sole founder of the nation, others think there are many people who contributed to the founding of the modern state of Ghana, notably the other members of the Big Six. So the controversy still rages on, and the Daily Graphic also having that conversation. Back page of the Daily Graphic. Phase 3 of Busak Fund launched to support private sector. Story says the 3rd phase of the Business Sector Advocacy Challenge Fund has been launched in Accra with an initial number of 100 private sector organizations built to receive business advocacy grants. So if you've got your own entrepreneurial work, some small private business going, you need some support. I guess it will be good to read the story and see how you can also benefit. Hopefully it's not too late. Chamber of Petroleum Consumers calls for dialogue over fuel price hikes. The Chamber of Petroleum Consumers Ghana is calling for dialogue among stakeholders in the petroleum sector to protect consumers from unfair fuel price hikes. According to the Chamber, the absence of opportunities for dialogue between petroleum sector agencies and consumers had resulted in the latter being affected by variations in the price of the product. I wonder, even if there are conversations going, would it change anything? In the center spread of the Daily Graphic, calculations of pensions clear. NPRA boss saying that the National Pensions Regulatory Authority has stated that the country's pension scheme does not need any additional laws to clearly spell out the benefits contributors to pension funds should receive after retirement. Details of that. And then the boss at the Graphic Group also saying, let's take pension seriously. All that's in the Daily Graphic newspaper, Roland.
Okay, so we have to do the Ghanaian Times. On the front page, we have Corp Graph selling arms. It's just one of the notable stories. President to address 72nd UN General Assembly today. First Lady promises to build cancer treatment center. But the main story, we have Cocoa Board signs 1.3 billion loan pact. That's good. And we're told that it's going to make sure that there's liquidity, etc., as far as the sector is concerned. But we know how it goes. It means farmers also would be able to get what they have to get. It's good for cocoa farming, it's good for the business. But also, back page, we have Stars must be wary of Niger in today's WAFU semi-final clash. And Mama V will do the daily guide. It has on the front page Opuni for others in trouble over cocoa board deals, and then Ifyash was husband for courts, and then we have Bulldog discharge and 3 robbers gunned down, cop busted for selling weapons, and those are the stories we've had on the front page of the daily guide. But let's look at the center spread, whether we'll get some stories.
But I'm interested in the Bulldog story.
Yeah, and the Bulldog story is on the center spread of the paper. It says an Accra Central District Court has summoned the state attorney in connection with a case involving the chief executive officer of Bull House Entertainment, Nana Isiama Hansen, known to many others as Bulldog. The court wants him to come and explain some codified portions of the Attorney General's advice, which directed that the accused person be discharged. So those are the stories we have. Now, quickly, we have to go to the online portals. All right. And we'll go to Major Online first, Mama V.
Is there a country called Nambia?
You're talking about Donald Trump. He wanted to say Namibia.
Let's do myjoyonline.com. That's our page. City trails behind pound and euro. The local currency is performing woefully against the euro and Great Britain's pound sterling. Details of that story when you click on it. But let's move on. The world is running out of antibiotics. WHO report confirms. A report by the World Health Organization shows a serious lack of new antibiotics under development to combat the growing threats of antimicrobial resistance. 9 elephants electrocuted accidentally. 9 elephants were electrocuted by electric power lines while drinking water from a leaked pipe at Dukwik village near Roland, you should know this. Okay. It's a place in Botswana.
Okay.
Yeah. Help yourself. Media blackouts as PAC sits on judiciary malfeasance. There was a media blackout on Wednesday's Parliament Accounts Committee sitting as it considered the 2015 Auditor General's report on financial malfeasance in the judiciary. This is one story that I guess the media would want to have a feel and see, especially coming out of Anas's expose, subsequently the changes that went on with the judiciary and all. But unfortunately, we didn't get to, except that, you know, we would definitely hear what went on in there, bits and pieces, and then it will all come together sometime. Yeah. Okay, so let's move on. Government officials storm schools over possible sabotage of free SHS. Top government officials pay an unannounced visit to some senior high schools over cases of possible sabotage of the free SHS education policy. Okay, I didn't know it was in connection with a possible sabotage, but what I do know is that some big officials have been going around. They don't tell you they are coming. It could be a substantive minister of state, it could be a deputy, it could be
another official of a state.
Yeah,
agency.
Exactly. And I thought it was good. And then they give their reports to the information minister. So very soon, we're told that very soon they will tell us exactly how the picture looks like. So it's all because of this policy. It's new, so we've got to pay attention to it. I guess that's why they're doing that.
Yeah.
But if there's anybody trying to sabotage the system, then that's not good. A minority boycotts a Mary review hearing. Story says the minority in Parliament has declared total boycott of consideration of a private member's motion for rescission demanding a reopening of the Mary power deal with governments. Private trustees urged to be innovative to improve informal sector pensions. That's a call by the managing director of Stanbic Bank, Al-Hassan Andani. He's challenged pension professionals to formulate innovative ways to rope in the informal sector. That's always been a very big challenge. But I guess if this was given to private people, they would have found a way long time ago. Omani demands copy of Kwesi Botwe report to clear his name. Former Communications Minister Dr. Edward Omani Boama has instructed his lawyers to get him a copy of Dr. Kwesi Botwe's report on the 2016 elections in order to, I guess,
but I thought the copy is supposed to be codified.
Yes,
with some few,
but we know that once in a while we get media reports of some leaked. Is it, or they're speaking based on facts? I think they're speculating. There was one that came out in the Daily Guide. The Daily Guide has been seriously in that. And Kofi Adams has disputed those facts as it was put in the Daily Guide newspaper. But you know, this will be very interesting. The fact that he's trying to get his lawyers. We'll see. Would that be granted? Would they get access to the report? Is a party report. They said it was private. They were not giving it out. It was only the recommendations that was made public, you know. But there are lots of things in that particular document. Everybody is trying to get a hold of it, so we'll see.
We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, let's run through the other stories on myjoyonline.com. Mahama wades into Founders Day controversy, eulogizes Nkrumah. Former President John Mahama has parried claims that Kwame Nkrumah is not the founder of Ghana, stating that those making the claims are seeking to reverse history. Okay, so he's on that other side. It's become a debate of, as a president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo trying to tell history in another way, trying to rope in people who are not necessarily part of this. I guess it's part of the controversy. Yeah.
The thing is that we have two political traditions in our country. We have the Nkrumahs and we have the Dankwa Buzia Dombo tradition. So no matter what happens, we're going to have this controversy raging on each time one of the sides are in power. So I don't think it's something that we have to be very much worried about. Come to think of it.
Yeah, but you know, the other thing, it's sad because outside Ghana, with our history, the rest of the world respects our history so much. They say great things about us. Yes. And look at us here in Ghana, talking founder.
I remember one of the countries that I traveled to. When I said Ghana, it's Kwame Nkrumah. I say
yeah. And so look at what we're doing to ourselves. Yeah. It's become like the normal MPP, NDC kind of thing again. So it was Kwame Nkrumah, the Black Stars. Yeah. After we went to the World Cup, most of the time when you travel, that's what analysis. Especially when you get to Northern Africa, it's more Kwame Nkrumah. Yeah. And then later you hear all the Black Stars. And yeah, but it's always been Kwame Nkrumah's Ghana. Yeah. But of course, we do know that there were great people who also contributed. How did we get here? That's what I've been asking myself. But it's not for me to say, it's not for you to say. We've got great conversations here on the show today, so you know. And you can, of course, let your voice also be heard by sending us a text message which we would share. So we've got videos as well. If you missed anything, you've been going to work every day, you don't get to watch our full show. Well, you have the opportunity to do so, but we also want to tell you that anytime you miss any of our segment, you can always just run to myjoyonline.com. There's a link to all our videos, and then you can update yourself or be part of any conversation that you missed live on our show. Docket to prosecute opponing for others. Mahama appointees ready, according to Ken Ejapong. Interesting. Kufuor's Giselle Yatsi back with a bang. I'm kind of interested. So can we just click on the story? New GIJ Governing Council to provide strong leadership is also another story there. Quickly, we would finish with this. I'm just curious. These two stories, this revelation by Ken Ejapong and this Giselle Yatsi story that we're told is back, but we will go on City FM as well. And then we'll do the BBC. Then we'll share what Donald Trump has been saying. The woman behind the biggest presidential scandal in the early years of the Kufuor administration is back with the bang. In a carbon copy of what happened to Ghana's ex-president J. Kufuor in 2004-2005, the crafty, calculating, beautiful, good researcher has plotted yet another scandal, this time in the US. Oh, I thought it was in Ghana again. Her victims are not as powerful as they were in Ghana. They're just middle-class employees with a not too large income, but big enough salary to keep the family going. I'll leave the rest for you to read. I'm just disappointed a bit. I thought it was another Ghana-related scandal. But if you miss all the backstory, you can catch up, because there's a recap of her connection with us in Ghana and all of that. And that's on myjoyonline.com.
All right, so let's go to City FM Online. And you go to City FM Online, and quickly we have to go through the stories, Mama V, about the Founders Day, etc., and some of the stories being linked to Kofi Adams.
Well, reverse Founders Day to September 21. I guess the do is if we come back to power. That's Kofi Adams saying there. Oh, God. Ghana, when? Mahama eulogizes Ghana's founder, Kwame Nkrumah. That same story on myjoyonline.com, also finding its way here on City FM Online. SDGs achievable with free SHS. That's President Akufo-Addo saying there. Minority to boycott discussions on withdrawal of a married deal. Government forced West Blue out of business, according to a former Deputy Minister of Trade and Industry in the Mahama administration. Robbers arrested after attacking mobile money merchants. Quality education most vital. SDG goal for Africa's development. Lots of stories on City FM as well that you can check out.
So let's go to the BBC. Let's see where we have whether we have the Africa page. Okay, so we have Kenya election result not verified. The presidential election was cancelled because the results were announced before being verified. Kenyan court blames election body, 9 elephants electrocuted. Those are the other stories we have. Let's go up. 9 elephants electrocuted in Botswana. Protests against family's 50-year rule. We're talking about Fonya Singbe, who is the president of Togo, at the receiving end of those protestations by figures of the opposition and some citizens of the Republic of Togo. Okay.
All right, let's read some messages. Hey, this person is saying, Joseph, DCOP Nani, Joseph, Atideku from... No, hey, I am reading the message from the bottom and I'm getting lost. So let me just go up. The most important part of your program that I like is unscripted videos. Why do you guys stop showing unscripted? Well, we haven't. Greetings to my brother Justice and my dad, DCOP Nani, Joseph Atideku, and it's from Wanda Atideku in Kumasi. We haven't stopped unscripted. I'm going to give you one very soon. But we certainly haven't stopped unscripted. You probably haven't seen it in a while, but we'll give you a few. Dasiba says, greetings from Northern Region. I dedicate this remarkable holiday to my 2 months girl, Elma. Remain a mentor of my baby, and you're referring to me. Well, Honorable Diane sending this message. Thank you very much. Enjoy your baby. This one says, good morning. Why is the government forgotten of the salary arrears of the 2013-2015 batch of teachers? And this message comes every day, every single day. This one says, happy birthday to you. Engrave Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. No doubt legends are September borns. From Rafik AOT in Tamale sending this message. Before we continue with the rest of the messages that you've sent, I thought we will listen to the US president. 2 things he's been talking about. We're here in Africa. Is there a country called Namibia? Why don't we listen to him first, and then we'll get to the speech where he's congratulating African leaders for making his friends rich. Oh, Charlie.
You fought a horrifying Ebola outbreak. Namibia's health system is increasingly self-sufficient.
Yes, health system is increasingly self-sufficient. Here's the second one on African leaders.
And we know he wanted to say Namibia.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, we're not sure. We're not sure.
When you read the story, it says.
But we're not sure. The person said Namibia.
Well, so that's Donald Trump, the president of the United States of America.
So the African leaders were listening to him.
Yeah. So we make others rich. We don't want to make our own rich.
But he congratulated them. Why didn't we hear any
clap?
Yeah, some
applause.
Like, well, they didn't like it.
I think they were stoned. More like not stunned. They were stoned.
Let's read a few of your messages and then we'll quickly make way for sports. Akoto Razak is in Tammany. He says, if our leaders keep changing Ghana's history, it's worrying. Dr. Nkrumah struggled for independence. Happy Executive Memory Day. That's how you decide to put it. This one says, I did hear you not reading my messages. Okay. Let's not go back there, Paul. I think I've read lots of your messages. Yusuf in Sunyai says, is there any updates on the Nigerian kidnapper who was arrested in Ghana with our passports? No, there isn't, but that's a good reminder. This one says, I want you people to help me get contacts. Okay, this is personal, so we're going to take care of it. This one says, Ghana indeed lost a great visionary leader. We hope and pray to the Almighty God to give us another visionary leader. Abdul Rashid Nuruddin in Pandai sending this SMS message to us. This one says, when I was in primary school, quite long, in the 60s, Founders Day was being celebrated as a holiday. It was instituted by Dr. Nkrumah himself. This was discontinued after the overthrow of the First Republic. The NDC opportunistically reinstituted it to win the votes of CPP-inclined voters. They and others are trying to whip up the emotions of unsuspecting Ghanaians against the new arrangement, which is very equitable. How sad. That's from Raymond Osafujan in Kwewu Tafo sending us this message. Here's another one that says, I'm Hey Frot from Brekum. When are they going to open, is it COACO? Coaco, you know anything like that? Please expand on the message because I'm lost. Final one perhaps, and then we'll make way for Benedict's. May God bless our homeland, Ghana. Good morning from Augustine Satwo in Techiman, also sending us these messages.